So in the last 16 match, Leinster put aside Harlequin 62-0, but I thought Glasgow Warriors would be much stiffer opposition, and I guess they were a bit by 10 points, just 52-0, but it has to be said Leinster were just on fire in this game. Like I said, they looked like a class outfit. That flow of attack, the power, the ingenuity, and in defence when Glasgow did attack, which they did a fair bit, they turned the ball over, they were ferocious, they were so hungry. They're looking right back on it. If they had a little bit of a dip, they're back on it now. At the moment, probably the favourites for the Champions Cup, but of course we haven't seen the rest of those quarter-finals. Who do they face? Castres or Northampton in the semi? They're going to be confident whoever it was, because Glasgow thought they had a chance and they've just completely snuffed them out. And obviously watching this game was Andy Farrell with his Lions hat on, and these Leinster players have done themselves no harm whatsoever. I think a lot of them were going anyway. I mean, Sheehan came on and was fantastic. I mean, the subs, that's something I was going to say, were brilliant. You had Sheehan, Porter and Slimani on the bench, a quality starting front row, but goodness me, what brilliant players to bring on. You know, kind of the pretty much bomb squad. Healy, Kelleher, Furlong were excellent, and then Sheehan, Porter, Slimani, that's a brilliant 1-2. Plus they had Doris on the bench. But, you know, Deegan was fantastic, on fire, scored the first, scored the last. Van der Fleer was excellent. Conan had to go off pretty early, and it looks not too good for him, so hopefully he'll be okay for the rest of the Champions Cup, or at least later stages. And of course you've got the Lions as well, so that's a big worry, and they could rest Prendergast for the last 20, and Byrne came on and put a worldy chip in for one of the last tries. Henshaw on the bench as well, so just so much strength in depth. Who really maybe pushed their way up the Lions standings? Well, Prendergast, they say. Sam Prendergast just looked class. Sure, he's in a dominant team, but his kicking is just huge. He's never the best tackler. We've known that from the Six Nations and maybe a bit here, but really his passing, his decisions are brilliant. So Andy Farrell, is he going to take him? Well, I think he's showing he's good enough. It's just that experience. Does he go for someone who's more experienced? But he is putting his hand up, and I think I'd be surprised if he didn't go now. But yeah, other guys are going. McCarthy's going to be going for sure. Van der Fleer for sure. Gibson Park was brilliant again. Lowe, just phenomenal. Geordie Barrett obviously can't play for the Lions, but it's a good thing we're not playing New Zealand. He was looking brilliant. I mean, Barrett and Snyman, just fantastic, loving playing for Leinster. O'Brien was pretty good, did a few funny things, but pretty good. Keenan slick. Ringrose, I think, pushed himself up because he was a little bit quiet, I guess, a bit ring rusty in the Six Nations, but a brilliant finish for his try, going around 5 players and powering over, defending fantastically. And Kelleher had a really good game as well. And like I've said before, I think it's wide open, those two other hooker spots behind Sheehan. So Sheehan and Kelleher, they do it for Leinster. Should they do it for the Lions? For Glasgow, did anyone improve their standings for the Lions? Well, not really. Jordan made some errors. We saw Matt Faison not have the best game, throw a ball away and then get injured. So hopefully he's okay. Darge was who worked hard but wasn't amazing. Horn didn't do anything. Hastings, yellow card, horrible slap down, really shown up Stain, some bad defence. So I think Rowe maybe was the only guy there that pushed himself up. But yeah, compared to the Leinster players, not a good night. Fun, and also we do have the manual testosterone testing kits, home testing kits that are 45% off. RugbyAnalyst 45, and I was surprised how many people went for that because it's very popular these days to see what your testosterone levels are like, so that's still something as well. Now, when the game started, it looked like Glasgow were popping the ball around like Leinster were, and it was going to be fire for fire, but then Leinster just gradually got into it. It looked like Geordie Barrett was over, but it had gone forward off Ringrose. It was knocked forward, so that wasn't really going to be a try in the end once the TMO got involved. But the first try for Leinster, probably one of my favourites actually. Lovely soft hands in the face from Snyman. Geordie Barrett linked it on, their 2 overseas player. I liked how Kelleher got in there instead of Gibson Park just to make it extra quick. Then Conan took it on, and Glasgow are just backtracking. They whiz it wide. Geordie Barrett, bit of magic. Bosch offload. Out it goes to Deegan, good finish. It was just brilliant team try, and maybe that just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, if you like, open the floodgates, whatever metaphor you want to use. Then the second one was a penalty try, although it was brilliant build-up play anyway, so it deserved a try. Just Prendergast on the run, popping the ball onto the foot, putting a crossfield kick in to Kelleher, and Hastings is just chasing around desperately, trying to stop the try, slapping the ball down, so an easy penalty try. And then in the second period of this first half, Leinster just pour on the power. The third try, just far too easy, goes over the top to Lowe, off a scrum, and I think Stain shoots up and in into no one, and it's just brilliant pass selection, but still a bit too easy. Then the fourth one, a brilliant line-out move, comes off to Gibson Park, hits the midfield, and then again, ball out from Prendergast, work wide to O'Brien. They had a really good finishing game and just a lovely step on Stain to finish. Just brilliant try, but again, a bit too easy. Glasgow will look at these and go, oh, we could have defended these a bit better, but still, that was in the yellow card period, so they're a man down. And in this first half, Kyle Rowe nearly broke the length of the pitch to score, but then another one came as well. Lovely chip over the top, just vision from Prendergast, because the attack's pouring forward with so many options, it's hard to cover everything, and then you can change it up with a little chip over the top, called by Keenan, and he's on it in a flash to score. Keenan, the man who does nothing wrong. 6th try, lovely work from the big second rows, flip inside from Sneyman to McCarthy. McCarthy, another really solid game. And then it looks like it's on out wide, so Glasgow are over drifting, and Ringrose steps Brown, he steps the loose head and takes a couple more over. Brilliant work from Ringrose, but again, it was a team try in the way, it wasn't just pure individuals. And then the guy who can't stop scoring, Dan Sheehan, brilliant try off a maul, and it's a lovely little pop through from Van der Fleer as he kind of sucks in a player and pops it through a gap. Sheehan forward rolling in there. Then I love the last one as Rossburn is on and just takes the ball kind of spinning around on the spot and just pops it over the top to Deegan. When things are going your way, they just really go your way, and that was it. 52-0. Absolutely destruction. They are on serious form. Just that injury to Conan maybe spoilt it a touch. Glasgow will be devastated. They didn't put up any fight there, or when they did get a few chances, they couldn't convert. They couldn't secure their own ball. So there you go. Pure class from Leinster. Let me know what you thought of that game down below. Love to know your thoughts as always, and I'll catch you next time.